Welcome back to a brand new video, something a little different that you wouldn't normally see in my channel. Obviously do a lot of gaming, that's besides the point. Today I'm going to predict what I think will be the Premier League table at the end of the 17-18 season. So yeah, let's get into it. The three teams I've predicted to be relegated are Huddersfield, Burnley and Brighton. I think Huddersfield is an obvious one. Along with Brighton, two championship teams only up. I think they'll go straight back down, especially Huddersfield only scoring 56 goals last year in the championship, which if you compare it to Newcastle's 85, it's just ridiculous. They came 5th in the championship and they've somehow ended up in the Premier League. Like, fair play to them. Obviously hope to do well, but just can't see it happening. Burnley at 19th, Andre Gray, I think he's now 32. Obviously just lost Michael Keane to Everton. I think that could be detrimental to the squad. Cannot see them staying up in the Premier League again. Had it rough enough last year as it was. Heaton and Keane absolutely saved them multiple times. And then at 18 we have Brighton. Brighton has some quality. They obviously have Knockaert, who got player of the season for Championship last year. Have them in at 18th. I don't think they'll stay up. I just can't see them staying up. And then in at 17 we have West Brom. West Brom actually had a very good season last year. I think they finished around the number 10 position. Was actually at 8 at a while and held 8 for a good while. Some serious talent in there with the likes of Phillips, but again just cannot see them going any higher than that. I think they'll just about stay in the Premier League, so anywhere between 17th and 15th. Then at 16 we have Newcastle United, the likes of Mitrovic, Perez, Dwight Gale, some really strong talent like Mbemba as well. I think they'll definitely stay in the Premier League again, probably where they belong as well. Then in 15th, 14th and 13th I have Watford, Swansea City and Crystal Palace. Watford at 15, obviously Troy Deeney, big man up top, really good player, really strong, really quick. I don't think he's going to do a good enough job for them though. I think they're going to struggle next season. Where did they finished pretty low this season as well. Yeah, they actually finished in 17 last year, one spot above from relegation, so really poor from them last season, and I think we're going to see a repeat of it this season. I don't think they've made any huge signings. They made one signing last year, which was actually a Gallo. People thought he was going to do absolute bits for them. Did fuck all, didn't do anything. And then in a 14 we have Swansea City. Swansea are a good squad, especially Gylfi Sigurdsson. Absolutely phenomenal player. At one point last season he had most assists in the top 5 leagues across Europe, which is absolutely phenomenal. But they're not going to keep him. I cannot see them keeping him. They want 50 million for him, and so many teams are willing to pay that. Everton being the huge one, obviously looking to get rid of Ross Barkley in exchange for him. But yeah, if they lose him, they could be in serious trouble next year. Then at 13 we have Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace with the likes of Benteke, Wilfried Zaha. Obviously losing out on Patrick Van Aanholt this season to Sunderland, sorry. I think they're going to struggle again this season coming, as they did last year. But yeah, I'd like to see what actually comes of Crystal Palace, because they're an odd team. They came 14th last year. I just can't see them coming any higher than 13, 14. No way they're breaking into that top 10 anyways. And then in at 12, 11 and 10 I have Leicester City, Bournemouth and Southampton. Leicester City obviously being the iffy one there. Obviously huge talent in that squad. The likes of Riyad Mahrez, Jamie Vardy, Gray, Schmeichel, Schlupp, Danny Simpson, Danny Drinkwater, but they're on the verge of losing some of them players, especially Riyad Mahrez, looking to go to Arsenal. Probably should have done so last season when Leicester could have got a lot more money for him. Looking to go to Roma as well. They're huge. They're one of the huge teams that want them. So yeah, without those key players, and Danny Simpson also wants to go to Chelsea. He doesn't want to go to Chelsea, but Chelsea are willing to play 30 million for Danny Simpson. Or for Danny Drinkwater, which is absolutely huge money for a player like him. I just can't see them doing well, losing those two key players. Jamie Vardy not stepping up last season. Then in an 11, Bournemouth. Obviously Josh King up front had an absolutely well, not an absolutely great season. He had a good season last year. Obviously, a lot of beef with Zlatan. Now they've signed Jermaine Defoe, which could be a lot, which could bring a lot for the youth in that team. Obviously, him giving down his experience, whatever, maybe going to coach for Bournemouth, something like that. Then at number 10, I've Southampton. Obviously, Shane Long up front. Virgil van Dijk, which he wants to leave, and I understand why. He wants to play Champions League, he wants to play European football, which is understandable, and he is a huge asset to that team. I think he has something like 4.1 successful aerial battles per game, which is fucking mad. Like, that's insane. If he leaves, they could be in some serious hot water. And at number 9, I've Stoke. Number 8, West Ham. And number 7, Everton. Stoke City obviously lost Arnautovic to West Ham, which is a bit of a bummer, but hey ho, what can you do? Still have Shaqiri, which is, he's still yet to break through in the Premier League. We've obviously seen him doing before with Bayern Munich, winning the Champions League, winning countless trophies at Bayern Munich. Insane talent, so he is still yet to break through. And I think if he does break through for Stoke, they could have a very good season. Still have the likes of Jack Butland, Mbula, a really strong team. Then at number 8, we have West Ham. West Ham is a squad packed full of Premier League experience. Mark Noble, Chicharito, Arnautovic, Joe Hart, and then they also have a lot of young talent that was already there in Mikel Antonio and Lanzini, Byram, Rice. Really strong squad, and I think they could actually get Europa League. They could be back in the Europa League this season coming. A team to watch out for, I think, especially with all that experience in one squad. Then at number 7, we have Everton, which honestly, in my opinion, they have had the best transfer window in the Premier League so far. Obviously losing out on Lukaku, but when you're signing players like Klaassen, Keane, and potentially Sigurdsson from Swansea, I just can't see how they can do well next season. Like, they're an absolutely astonishing squad, and I'm interested to see how Everton do next season. Like, they can honestly finish anywhere between 5th and 9th, in my opinion. Then in at number 6, we have Liverpool, 5 Tottenham, and 4 Arsenal. Liverpool at 6 because I do think they're going to lose Coutinho to Barcelona. It's just bound to happen. And I think they're going to struggle with also having Champions League football as well. It's going to be hard for Klopp. Like, don't get me wrong, like, he does still have talent in Salah and Firmino, but he's missing that central midfielder. Naby Keita would have been perfect. If they got Naby Keita and kept Coutinho, they honestly could have pushed for the title. But I think without those two players, they're going to drop a lot and suffer. Then at number 5, I have put Tottenham. Tottenham are a very strong team, but they've lost Kyle Walker and they're on the verge of losing Danny Rose. And with signing nobody in the transfer window, that is just ridiculous that can happen. They're going to struggle so hard next season. And I just don't think, especially in a new stadium as well. We've seen what happened with West Ham when they moved to the London Stadium. They got absolutely destroyed for the first 4 months of the Premier League. And I think that's going to happen with Tottenham. I just cannot see them doing well with signing no one, possibly losing both their starting fullbacks, and playing in a new stadium. They're going to get absolutely destroyed next season, in my opinion. Then at number 4, we have Arsenal. Arsenal just have abundance of talent. Hector Bellerin, Mesut Ozil, Sanchez, Lacazette, Koscielny, Oxlade-Chamberlain, a really strong side, but they're lacking reinforcements in the midfield. They have the likes of Xhaka and El Neni, 2 really good players, but not good enough. Also, Jack Wilshere back from Bournemouth. 3 decent midfielders, but not astonishing. Granit Xhaka being the best out of 3, in my opinion. He could just spray those long balls forward to Oxlade-Chamberlain, Lacazette, and Sanchez. Maybe not Oxlade-Chamberlain, as he's playing more of a wing back nowadays, but yeah, he could do bits for them. Then my top 3 that I've predicted is Chelsea at 3rd, Manchester City 2nd, and Man United in 1st. Chelsea in 3rd because I think Chelsea have honestly sold 20 players this transfer market and only brought in 4, which is ridiculous. Because they have to fill that 8 homegrown players quota, and I think they're 6. I think they only have 6 out of the 8, so they have to sign another 2. Hence why they're looking for Danny Drinkwater and willing to pay 30 million. but a very strong squad nonetheless. Fabregas, Kante and Bakayoko will run the midfield next year, and then up front they have Willian, Morata and Hazard, a front three to be absolutely feared. And then their backline, Tim Cahill looking like Virgil van Dijk, Rudiger, David Luiz, and then Courtois and goal. Like, that's just such a strong squad, and all managed by Antonio Conte, which is just an impeccable manager. Obviously had an amazing season last year with Chelsea. Can't see them winning the title again though, especially when you look at the likes of Manchester City, who I've put in second. Honestly, one of the best front sevens in the world, Raheem Sterling, Jesus Navas, honestly, which brings me on to my second one, Manchester City, with probably the best front seven in the world, Kevin De Bruyne, Silva from Monaco, Aguero, Jesus, Sane, Sterling, and I forget the seventh. And their defence is amazing as well. Vincent Kompany, Kyle Walker, Mendy, Ederson from Benfica, which is an absolutely insane goalkeeper. One of the best distributions I've ever seen from a goalkeeper, which is obviously something Pep Guardiola really likes, as he brought in Bravo next season and he flopped, which is poor for him. But that's how it goes, and that's why I've put them in at second. And I've put them in at second because I just can't see, like, Pep Guardiola's gone out and bought Silva, Mendy, Walker and Ederson. I don't see how they'll form quick enough to have that absolutely amazing season. I just don't think it'll be enough for them to win the league. Hence why I've put Manchester United in at number one. Some world class talent in that squad. David De Gea, Paul Pogba, Mkhitaryan, Martial, Lukaku. Like, that is just a star-studded squad, which really does need to do good next season. Also now back in the Champions League as well, which it'd be good to see how that really affects them. Of course, five teams out of the 20 in the Premier League actually in the Champions League. So it's going to affect all of them a lot, but I think United will cope with it well. They have some really good depth in that squad. Really interested to see how they do next season. Obviously have Herrera, Mata, Fellaini's, a lot of people give Fellaini stick, but I actually quite like him. I think he's quite a good player, and that's why I've put United in at first. So if you enjoyed, please remember to like, subscribe, and if you didn't agree with my prediction, please let me know why in the comments, or if you did, let me know why. But yeah, I will chat to you later.